Today, we've got some massive Rust console news. We're talking about 2 new monuments, we've got new guns, new NPCs, and bodies are going to float. We've got a ton of news here in the latest and greatest Rust Devblog 4. But before we get into that, I've got to ask you a question. What would be more embarrassing, clogging Justin Bieber's toilet or projectile vomiting in front of the Queen? I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know it would be rather embarrassing if I hadn't hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to this channel, you're missing out on a ton of the latest and greatest Rust news, and then you're going to be way behind everybody else on your server. So make sure you hit subscribe, and let's get into the Devblog. So here we go. This is Devblog number 4, titled Offshore Blowout. Survivors, here we are, right at the end of February. The team has been working non-stop to bring you all one of the most requested updates for the Rust console edition, Offshore Blowout. That's right, they're bringing community servers. They're actually not. I thought that was the most requested, but one of the most requested is probably the oil rig, so fair enough. In case you didn't watch the trailer released yesterday, here's a recap of all the new features that are going to be implemented in the game with this patch. 2 of the most requested monuments are being added to the game. Depending on the server you play in, you will have a chance to have the small or large oil rig available. Some servers might even have both. So right now, the most crowded servers on Wipe are probably going to be the ones with small and large oil rig. If you're lucky enough to be in one of those servers, make sure you don't leave because there's probably going to be a massive queue. A new NPC, the Heavy Scientist, is being added. This new NPC is much more challenging than the regular scientist, and you and your squad will have to face them if you plan to complete the oil rig event and run away with the loot. This NPC should also drop better loot, for those of you guys wondering. A new weapon is also being added, the multiple grenade launcher. This weapon has a lower chance of dropping from the Heavy Scientist aboard the oil rig, and in the right hands, it will cause immense destruction. Don't forget to aim above your target. So yeah, there's going to be a grenade launcher, which is pretty awesome, but I'm sure that's going to be an issue for last gen with lag and everything like that, but we'll see. And finally, all backpacks now float in the ocean. This means that in those intense fights in the open sea, you will be able to loot your opponents and get some extra resources that can be crucial on your journey. So that's just really good. We will also have a new skin rotation available with the update, some fixes to improve the experience with Rust console. Here's a first look at those skins. So basically, we've got a construction worker skin and one skin that's in all black. The all black skin doesn't look that impressive. The construction worker skin is pretty nice, I think. It looks like they might even have a rocket launcher skin with that, so that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. And next up, patch 1.30 will be available to download Thursday morning, 11 a.m. at UTC, and the new content will be available following the monthly wipe at 6 p.m. at UTC. Monthly servers will not get a BP wipe, but weekly ones will. Also, some servers might not have any oil rigs in them, but rest assured, because there will be plenty of servers with new seeds that have the new monuments available. What's next? The team is still finalizing the next content update, and more information will be made available to the testing branch participants once we are ready to reveal what that update will be. At the moment, there's some consideration to be made, but we plan to release something new for the testing branch in March. So yeah, stay tuned to this channel because whatever is released to testing branch in March, I will be reporting on it. And now, what about community servers? Community servers are one of the most requested features from you, and rest assured, they are being worked on as we speak. We do have some new information to share. While the server team has been progressing on optimizing memory usage, our design team has been planning a new UI for creating and managing a server within the game. Bear with us, there's still more work to be done until this feature is ready. Rest assured though, this is a priority for us. So unfortunately, this is actually really bad news in my opinion. It means community servers aren't coming out, and even though we were told community servers are going to be coming out shortly after the launch of Rust, which was launched almost a year ago, they don't have a UI yet. I don't understand how that's the case. I don't know why they're working on a new UI when the UI that they supposedly had available for us to use back in April still hasn't been released. Let us use that UI. I don't care if they're working on a UI. They can release that whenever they want, but give us community servers. Don't make us wait on a UI and act like, I don't know. They're making us wait on a UI. That's ridiculous. And if they're not, this is just no news, basically, right? It's essentially saying we're doing something that's not really related to if we're going to release community servers or not, but we're doing it, so you should be happy. This is the only part of the dev blog that I really don't like. I would have liked to hear more about community servers, what they're looking at with memory, and what the potential cost could be. Because I've looked into it. I'm going to do a video on this. I've looked into it. The RAM cost shouldn't be that significant. If you wanted to get a server that had 400 people in it for the PC version Rust, which is much bigger than the console version Rust, you could do that for a relatively cheap price. We're talking 20 to 40 bucks. And I just release community servers, charge us 20 or 40 bucks for them and say we're going to get the cost down. Don't just keep pushing this back because you want to get the cost down to $5. And if they release community servers and they're not $5 for a server, $10 for a server, I'm not going to be happy. So you got to do this, D11. If you're delaying community servers for this long, you've got to release them at like $5 a month for community servers. Just saying. Anyways, that's all we have to share for the month of February. Special thanks to everyone who participated in our playtest earlier this month. Your feedback helped us a lot in measuring the impact the oil rigs will have in-game, and we expect great results with the release of Offshore Blowout. Hope you all have a great wipe. See you at the beach, survivors. So yeah, overall, I think this is fairly good news. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the grenade launcher. I've got to be a little honest, though. I'm a little worried that there's going to be some lag issues, especially for the last-gen players. I think the oil rigs being released is spectacular. That's going to add a lot to the game. People love running oil rig on the PC version of Rust. It's one of the funner things to do, especially when you're with a team, and I think it's going to be the same for the console edition of Rust. There's going to be a lot of people that are probably coming back just to play the oil rig, and honestly, if you have a next-gen system and people that you can run oil rig with, why not? Just set aside a weekend, come back into the game, run the oil rig. You'll have some fun. You'll get into the competition a little bit again, and then you can just duck off or go back to whatever else you're doing. And yeah, overall, I think really good update. I'm a little pessimistic about this whole community servers thing because it doesn't seem like they're getting anywhere with the memory. It seems like they're trying to just add these little things in that don't really matter to sort of justify the delay. And I'm just not sure where they're going with this because I looked at the cost for PC Rust servers and it seems like the cost isn't that crazy. Like $20 a month to run a server with 100 people, $40 a month, like it's a lot. I get it. It's a lot. A lot of people aren't going to get community servers because of that, but it's not some sort of astronomical amount. And I think a lot of people would be happy to pay that. And, you know, for me personally, having a community server that I could have for my community, that would be worth $20 or $40 a month. Like, if they released it now at that cost, I'd be happy to pay it. And then at least there'd be some servers out there for people who want to try 2x, 3x, 4x, or whatever. Resource drops, or people who want solos only, or anything like that. And if it's just one or two people on a server, like if someone wants to do a PvE server for just them and their friends, the cost shouldn't be anything close to $20. Like, I just don't see where they're coming from with this whole memory optimization thing. The fact that the whole game can fit on 4 gigs of RAM, they should be able to fit everything onto like a 10 gig of RAM server, which I looked into the cost of that, and you can get those fairly cheap, even if you're going through a hosting company. So I'm not sure what's going on there. And I'll save some of these opinions for later because some of them are a bit hot. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please hit subscribe. Please hit like. And until next time, peace.